Hi everyone. Today we're going to be establishing communications to our Omron CP1H PLC. And the first thing we'll actually establish communications two different ways. One using RS485 using host link method, and the other is the built-in USB port on the unit itself. And so our hardware, if we look at the USB, it's just a USB printer port. So it's a printer cable, and the one cable itself attaches into this side of the PLC, and we can plug that in. And the other side will then plug into our computer when we power this unit up. Now it's important that any of these modules that we are going to program, just pull this one out, flip it around, and what you'll see is we have a series of dip switches. In my case, I have dip switch number 2, 3, and 5 and 6 on to indicate that I'm operating on RS485. And that then powers right back, or pops right back into that socket. So again, make sure that power's off. It will snap in. So now we have our hardware set. We also have a converter that goes from my USB port into the Omron. And this model is actually from Automation Direct. It's a USB-485M. So it's just a USB to 45 serial converter. So when I'll plug that in, and there's a previous links that I'll have to show you how to install that. So once we have that plugged in and monitored, then we can power up this CPU. There we go. And so you see my run and my power lights are on. I can now, what we'll do first of all is do the RS485. I'll plug this into my system. And because I've installed this before, I can then call up my device manager from my control panel on my Windows machine. And what I'll see is under my port settings, I see that it's actually assigned COM5. So we have to remember it's communication number 5. Okay, we can get rid of that. And as always, if we refer everything that we're doing today to our CX Programmer Introduction Guide, it's a great tool. So you should have one of these right on hand when you're doing any kind of communication. And actually it's in the second chapter, Online and Debugging, that's what we'll be more or less concentrating. So more detail is provided within that Programmer Introduction Guide. So now let's we got our COM port, we know that we're going to be communicating, we have everything installed. Then we'll call up our CX programmer. We'll call up the program that we did last time, our start stop jog. We'll open that up, and here's our program. So what you'll see at the under the ACC PLC, we'll just double click it, and it actually comes up with our change PLC. And right here, our network type, this is how we're going to communicate. So instead of USB, we'll select Sysmac Way, and then we'll go to settings. Now under the settings, we want to make sure that everything's 0 here and host link number 0. Our driver, again, we selected COM5, which is the one that we just saw that it took over when I plugged that USB to RS485 converter in. And this is the default rate for all Omron. It's 9600, 7 data bits, even parity, and 2 stop bits. So we'll say OK to that, OK to that, and now we're all set to communicate. Now the first thing we shall do is you'll see that we have a button up here, Work Online, and then we have a Auto Online. The Work Online basically will take that PLC setup, or that we just told it, and say try that connection to see if we're going to establish something. And the auto online will actually look out through the network and it will actually try to find that PLC and dump the program down. So in our case, what we're going to do is hit this work online triangle, and it's going to ask me about to connect to, do you wish to continue? I'll say yes. And now what you'll notice is that everything starts changing. We have here where it says our PLC, we now say it's run mode. And up here on our ladder, you'll see that we'll actually change the background, and we can actually see the monitoring of the I/O bits, if they're on or off. And that's all done through this toggle, the PLC monitoring. So the first thing, once we've established communications, is to put the program into the PLC itself. And what you'll notice is on the actual PLC we have a comm light. That comm light is actually flashing right now, so we know we are communicating. So we'll go to PLC, and then we'll say transfer, and we'll transfer to PLC. We'll leave everything as default, and we'll hit OK. Okay. And it's going to give me a couple warnings. This command is going to affect the state of the PLC. Do you wish to continue? And remember, we're currently in our run mode, as indicated by that run light on our PLC. So, do you wish to, yes, we're going to continue. And then it gives you another warning saying, make sure there's no problems if the PLC stops. Do you wish to, do you want to switch the PLC to program mode? And again, what I'll say is yes. And when I do so, it'll go into program mode. And the run light will go off. It will then transfer the program down, and then it will come up and say, I've done all those tasks for you, and the transfer is successful. There we go. So hit OK. Once again, I get a warning message saying, make sure there's no problems when I go from the program mode back to run mode. Again, I'll say yes. And what you'll see is we have our output window down here in the corner, and it automatically pops up when we do things like transfer. And again, we have it tells you how much memory we've used, and that we have 0 errors, and 0 warnings in the controller itself. And there are my 2 sections of ladder program. So I can just close that off. So now we have our program that transferred into the PLC, but now we need to really confirm that that is in there. So we'll go PLC, we'll go transfer, or we'll go, you have to click on the actual ladder. We'll go PLC, transfer, and then compare with PLC. And it's going to say compare options. Again, we're going to just compare the programs to make sure they are exactly the same. We'll say OK. And then it starts transferring and comparing these programs together to make sure they match. Okay. And again, we get a response saying the compare is successful. That means that the instructions were exactly the same, so we have the exact same program, which is what we expected. A lot of times when we go onto the field, we need to verify that the program we have is what's in the PLC and vice versa. So that's a great way of doing that. So you see right now we have communicated to through our RS485. Now let's just stop that communication, and what we'll do is go back and we'll try our USB connection. And what I'll do is plug in my physical hardware here and into my computer. And then what we'll do is go to our PLC here, and instead of the network type Sysmac way, we'll go to USB, and under settings you'll see again everything is left as default. We'll just hit OK. Okay. And then once that's done, again we hit our online triangle, because we don't want to auto search, we just want to connect to what we wanted to connect to. So hit that. Do you want to connect? Yes. Okay, and once again, you'll see that now we're communicating, but in this case here, we're under the peripheral light, and it is actually blinking now for us, so we know we have communication. Again, just to verify that, we'll go to PLC, we'll go to transfer, and we'll go to compare the PLC program again. And it comes up, compare successful. You'll also notice that was a little faster than the RS485, and that's just the inherent nature of the USB connection. It is a little quicker. Okay. So, all the links and the download for the program can be found on our website, and the video, or in the website according to this video here. Also, if you like this video and like to see more, there are 3 ways in which you can help us out. You can give us a thumbs up so other people can find this information on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at the end of the video, or you can go to accautomation.ca and subscribe to our website. Now, when you do that, you'll get notification every time we publish new content to the site. You'll also be getting 2 free ebooks on numbering systems and robust data logging. And the third thing to do to help us out is to tell a friend or colleague about the site. All right, thanks for watching.